You know, it seems like just last week the 2014-2015 season ended. Oh, that's right, it did, but that's all in the past now. And this is your 2015-2016 preview. I'm Amanda Balionis. This is Kelly Hawkins.
And there is so much to look forward to. New venues, sponsors, and faces on the PGA Tour. And of course, golf is back in the Olympics this season. But one thing that hasn't changed, the race for the FedEx Cup starts right now. The Olympic men's competition will be played August 11th through 14th in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, but those are the traditional dates of the PGA Championship, so the Summer Games have had a bit of a domino effect on the game worldwide.
We certainly have seen a lot of changes for the upcoming season, but it still has all of the same good stuff going on. We still have 43 regular season events, 4 FedEx Cup playoffs, 4 majors, 4 WGCs, and remember, the PGA Tour is worldwide, so we are going to 6 different countries. And oh yeah, Ryder Cup and Olympic year. This is going to be one exciting season. Now, venue-wise, we are returning to some familiar places. In FedEx Cup playoffs, the Barclays heads back to the challenging Bethpage Black on Long Island, while the BMW Championship returns to Crooked Stick in Indianapolis. The PGA Tour just got even bigger, by the way, in Texas, with 5 events this year, including the newly sponsored WGC Dell Match Play, moving to Austin Country Club. The Quicken Loans National returns to Congressional Country Club, and the first change you'll be seeing is at the McGladrey Classic coming up shortly, where a second 18 holes has been added at the Sea Island Resort's Plantation course, giving more players an opportunity to get into the field, and also that race against sunlight we always battle with, it will be less of an issue.
Now, last season was incredible for the young players that turned their potential into reality, and don't expect for that to slow down this season. In fact, Rory McIlroy is teeing it up at the Fries.com Open. And of course, the big question is, what can we expect from #1 Jordan Spieth, along with Jason Day and Ricky Fowler?
Yeah, now of course, the one big question for me out of that group is this the year that Fowler steps into the winner's circle at a major championship? Obviously, Spieth and Jason Day got that monkey off their backs, and I think if Ricky wants to continue being a part of that conversation, he had some great wins last season, but he's going to have to step up on one of those 4 big stages. Now, for where you can find all of your fantasy info, Hawkins, you know I need all the help I can get. Let's check in with fantasy guru Rob Bolton of PGATour.com.
Well, with such a short offseason on the PGA Tour, gamers love the fact that they can get right back at it, especially those who had success. For those who didn't, well, the good news is that at least it's a new season. But best of all, PGA Tour Fantasy Golf driven by Avis is back, and it has some awesome prizes for 2015-16. You can always connect with me via Twitter and via email, but for the power rankings, the sleepers, the Fantasy Insider, and the one and done, as well as all of my weekly staples, you can find all of that in one place. That's at PGATour.com/fantasy.
Thanks, Rob. Now, there are going to be some fresh new faces you might want to keep your eye on this season when setting your lineup. 17 rookies will play this year on the PGA Tour. Youngest is Michael Kim, who is 22 years old, and the oldest is Rob Oppenheim, 35 years old. But regardless of age, one thing is for sure, they are ready to go and already have goals set for the upcoming season.
My first goal is to keep my card, to make sure that I can play on the PGA Tour the next year.
Obviously, my goals are to keep my card. I have higher goals than that, you know. I want to obviously win out there. I think my game is plenty good enough to win out there.
My biggest goal, and I think it's why I've gotten better of late, is just getting better and seeing where my potential really is and not really worrying about the results as much and kind of see where that goes. I mean, who knows? It might not be good enough, or it might be good enough to win.
If I could make the playoffs, you know, the FedEx Cup, I think would be pretty exciting to know I could get there and keep my card and have a place to play the following year, be back on the PGA Tour and do that in front of, you know, family and friends that would be a pretty good year.
Rob Oppenheim, by the way, the last man to punch his ticket to the PGA Tour this season. It's such a great story. He actually thought that he missed out on being one of the 25 during the Web.com Tour Finals, had left the course, headed back home to Orlando, got the phone call, turned around, almost missed the card ceremony, but he is definitely a guy that has fulfilled his dream. It's taken him a while to get here, so a great story to keep an eye on. Now, this is certainly the time for goal setting, and sometimes with that comes equipment changes, and for some of the game's best, changes are certainly underway. For all of the information you need on that, let's bring in Jonathan Wall of PGATour.com.
I feel like this could be a big year for equipment, and let's start out with Jordan Spieth's irons. Now, Spieth made an interesting change at the end of last season when he replaced his title of 714 AP2 with 716 AP2 at the Barclays. Now, he missed the cut that week, went back to 714 AP2, and ended up winning the Tour Championship and the season-long FedEx Cup with his old irons. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go back to the new irons or if he sticks with his old sticks. There's also equipment free agency with Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka on the market. Now, I don't expect either one to change. We could start seeing moves as early as the Fries.com Open. There's also the anchor ban. Now, this has been 3 years in the making. It's going to eliminate the long putters and the belly putters, which means players like Adam Scott and Keegan Bradley, who used these putters in the past on major championships, will no longer have them to fall back on. For more equipment news going forward this season, check out PGATour.com's equipment report.
Thanks, Jonathan. Of course, you can keep up with him and all of those equipment changes because they happen all season long on that equipment tab on PGATour.com. All right, now it's time for the it's way too early, but we're going to do it anyways pick. Hawkins, who you got as the FedEx Cup champion at the end of this season?
I'm going to go with Henrik Stenson winning his second FedEx Cup. Wasn't able to get much going during the regular season, but it's all about peaking at the right time, which he seems to be able to do during the playoffs. So I'm going Stenson for 2016 FedEx Cup.
All right, I'm going to go a young guy then. We're going to go Jason Day. Talk about a heck of a season last year. He battled through so much. He finally started to realize his full potential. So I think that confidence is only going to go up from there. I think Jason Day is going to be our FedEx Cup champion at the end of the season. All right, now, of course, the brand new season gets started this Thursday. Here are your TV times where you can watch the Fries.com Open. Thursday through Sunday, Golf Channel will have all of your action from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and PGA Tour Radio will have your coverage beginning at 2 p.m. on Thursday through Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday, it will begin at 3 p.m. Tune in for an exciting new season. Let's get it going.